AstraZeneca is making its biggest bet yet on America, announcing a massive $50 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing and research, including a new multi-billion-dollar facility in Virginia that aims to churn out next-generation medicines for weight loss and chronic diseases. Here to tell us more about the company's $50 billion push is AstraZeneca CEO Pascal Soriot. Pascal, tell me about where you focused the company and what's prompting the big bet on America.
Oh, hi, Jack. Thanks for having me. Our focus is really cancer. It's about half of our R&D investment and half of our company. We also invest in respiratory disease, asthma, COPD. We invest in rare disease. We invest in cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, and finally, we are building immunology at this point. So as you can see, we are really focusing on the biggest killers in the world: cancer, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease.
Yeah, you have a plan to grow revenue by $80 billion by the end of the decade. That's from about $54 billion last year, and cancer is a big part of that plan. Tell me about the most important breakthroughs that you're seeing there. Which are the cancers for which help is on the way soon for patients, and how long will it take?
That's a great question, actually. Out of the 80 billion, we expect cancer to represent about half of that, so 40 billion. And of course, the United States will represent a big part of it because that's where the innovation happens. And, you know, there has never been a more exciting time in our industry. We can see today the potential to cure some cancers. First of all, we can diagnose some cancers earlier, but for those cancers that are metastatic, when they are diagnosed, we have new technologies today like antibody-drug conjugates, radioligands, T-cell engagers, cell therapy, new immuno-oncology products. So we have a whole range of technologies that didn't exist even 10 years ago. And with combining those agents and also having a more targeted approach, targeting really the cancer cells more directly, we have a chance to cure a number of cancers, making enormous progress with breast cancer, lung cancer, endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer. There's a couple of cancers that still remains very difficult, like colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, but I have good hope that with the technologies we have, we will also make progress there.
Let's talk about obesity treatment. You're developing a pill there. So is Eli Lilly. They had some trial results that Wall Street was kind of ho-hum on. It sent Eli Lilly's shares a little lower. From where you're sitting, what's the outlook on obesity pills for them to take market share from the shots down the road and grow the overall market?
Right. It's a great question. And I think I need to start by really refocusing the discussion a little bit. People talk about obesity, but actually what is important is abdominal fat. The fat you have in your abdomen. And some people don't look obese, they don't look so much overweight, but they have abdominal fat. And the abdominal fat is the fat you have around your liver, your heart, your pancreas, and that's what drives what is called insulin resistance, and then the metabolic disorders that follow: hypertension, cholesterol, diabetes, and ultimately, of course, kidney disease, heart disease. So injectable agents are very powerful and they help obese people lose a lot of weight, but there's a huge population of patients who actually need an oral agent, easy to take, well tolerated, and will be satisfied with, say, 15% weight loss. That's enough, because what you need to do is eliminate the fat you have in your abdomen. So 12 to 15%, what Lilly obtained with their oral agent, is actually a good intervention for the people who are not obese, but the people who have too much abdominal fat and are basically overweight.
We have about 30 seconds left. I want to ask you about research productivity, about the breakthroughs that you're able to see per dollar spent on research. What is the trend there? Is that rising or falling?
That's a great question too. Let me go back to the previous one and say we are also developing an oral agent that is moving through clinical development, and we intend to launch these products in the next few years. In terms of your question about investment in R&D, it really depends on the company you're asking for. I think, again, technology is advancing, artificial intelligence is really helping improve the productivity in our industry, in research in particular, but also in development. And we believe our return on investment on R&D in our company is very, very good. We have a very large portfolio. In fact, the challenge we always have is to fund all these great projects. But it's exciting because we believe we can make a big difference to a lot of diseases that have been very difficult to treat in the past.
I wish you the best of luck on the breakthroughs you're working on. Thank you, Pascal Soriot.